Let me welcome everyone out to the 2016 DeKalb Neighborhood Summit. We really appreciate you all coming out this year. This again is the 7th year that we have conducted this. Every year we try and make sure that this is better, that it's larger, that it's bigger, that it's more impactful, that it makes more of an impact on you and your community. And so that's why we're here. We're here with this DeKalb Neighborhood Summit to help empower you, empower your community, to make your community a much better place. My name is Lee May. I'm the interim CEO here in DeKalb County, and I'm really excited about seeing you all here. There's so many people around the outskirts that are still there at the tables. They're still getting food, they're registering, they're getting more information. This is really going to be an interactive day. It's going to be a day in which you can get information. We have so many employees here to support you, to connect with you, to talk to you. We have so many department heads, people who are leading various departments in the county. One thing that people really need to understand is that we are a major corporation. Our budget is over $1.3 billion with a B. We have to deliver services to over 700,000 people and thousands of key stakeholders around the county. And so when we operate our day-to-day business, it is with the mindset of being as efficient, as effective as possible in delivering those services. So we're just thankful for you all coming out to be a part, to understand more about who we are as DeKalb County, what type of services that we deliver. We have a number of friends here, a number of guests. I'm going to acknowledge one particular one first because he's come from outside of DeKalb County, and I'm going to bring him up a little later to speak. But we have our Chairman John Eves from Fulton County. John, stand up. He heard about this and he gave me a buzz and said, hey, I want to come in and do whatever I can to participate. He was talking about today, seeing if he could do something like this in Fulton County, and they do something like this, but I think after seeing what we see here today, he's going to try and, grow what they're doing in Fulton County. But one of the things that is one of the, interesting notes about DeKalb County, we deliver more services than any one city or one county in this state. And why do I say that? Because DeKalb County is still so filled with unincorporated areas. About 30% of our county is within a city or another, one city or another, which means about 70% of our residents still live in an unincorporated area. That means as a county, we deliver the lion's share of those services, from police to fire to sanitation to code enforcement, to roads and drainage, to parks, to libraries, to cooperative extension, to stormwater management, to anything that you can name that a local government does, we do it. Most cities and most counties, they share with the city and the county. And so, for example, in Fulton County, you have the city of Atlanta and God knows how many other municipalities, 13, that they share their services with. And so today you're going to hear a lot about the services that we deliver, a lot about the work that we do as a county. And the theme for today's summit is working together for a cleaner and safer DeKalb. Working together for a cleaner and safer DeKalb. One thing that I say all the time is that government cannot do it on our own. And a lot of times you as taxpayers, you as voters, you look to us to do everything, to get everything right. Because you say, well, we pay taxes, you ought to get this done. But here's the reality. Even though we have over $1 billion budget that we have to deliver services to you, that really pales in comparison to the real needs of our county, which means we can't do everything ourselves. It really takes a partnership between the public sector and the private sector, between constituents, taxpayers, voters, and the government itself. And so today we want to empower you to work together collectively to make our county a cleaner and a safer environment. And so we have a number of people, key stakeholders that are here with us to share in this and to participate. And I have a number of names, and more people are going to come in before the day is out. But I do want to acknowledge them because they're from various levels and areas of government. We have, I think he represents this area. If not, he's over here all the time. Coach Williams, State Representative Coach Ernest Williams. He represents Stone Mountain. But then again, he represents everywhere because he's all over the place. And he's here. Many of the things that you may have questions about today are maybe state-related issues. And so we're here to talk about, who is who delivers what, and all of that. We have, at my level, our Commissioner, Nancy Jester. Stand up, Nancy, if you would. Nancy Jester represents District 1, more of the northern part of the county, Dunwoody, Chamblee, Doraville, some of Tucker, and other areas that I'm probably missing a bunch. But I'm glad you're here as well. We have also here with us on the third branch of government, on the judicial side, we have Judge Ronald Ramsey. Judge Ron Ramsey, good to see the judge here. He's a person that you probably don't want to see because you got a little piece of paper in your hand because you probably were driving a little too fast down I-20 or 285. I want to see him on Saturdays, not when he's in his black robe. So Judge Ramsey, thank you for what you do. And he served us so well as a state senator as well for so many years at the state level. We have Katarina Taylor here, who is the president of our DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. She's the one that helps us get business and keep business and be more business friendly with the county. And so she, as well as the chamber, have been a great, great partner with DeKalb County as well. And so, y'all, we are here again, abiding with the theme that we are working together for a cleaner and a safer DeKalb. And I do want to just take a quick moment, you all, to just acknowledge the realities of what's going on around the country right now. I had to kind of check my attitude, and if you caught me as I first walked in the door, you probably caught a less friendly Lee May. Because y'all, I've been in a tough place here, the past few days. This week has been a tough one. Just seeing what's going on around the country, to see the angst of people, the fears of people around the country, to see the heartbreak of families, to see the loss of life, you all. And it's been tough. It's been tough. And I was really moping around the office a lot yesterday. And I think for me it's been tough because I'm really solutions oriented, and I think a lot of us are solution oriented. We see a problem and we want to automatically fix it. But the reality, you all, is this isn't an easily resolvable issue in our country. I shared a statement with Cedric Alexander yesterday. We were talking about just what's going on around the country. And I said, ironically, over the past couple of weeks, young black men and police officers probably have more in common right now than they've probably ever had. And that's one of fear of one another. I think a lot of what has been going on around the country has been rooted in fear. It's been rooted in a lack of understanding. And it's been rooted in, I think, what's kind of been the worst of kind of humanity right now. And so I just want for us to just kind of and it's going to be hard right now, if we could take a moment of silence right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. I know it's tough with the environment that we have, but thank you for that. Today we're going to have some dialogue regarding what is going on around the nation. We will have a breakout session in our public safety breakout to discuss what we can do in terms of better connecting our law enforcement community with the community at large, what we can do to better community policing, and how we can ensure that we do have a safer community, a safer county, but that we can make sure that we're preserving all life as we are keeping our community safe. Okay? So in keeping with time, you all, we want to move forward. We have just a rich agenda for today, and we want to jump right in. Malika, Hakeem, are you ready to move forward? Are we ready? Are you introducing? Okay. You all, we are relaunching our One DeKalb initiative. One DeKalb stands for Office of Neighborhood Empowerment. And we are relaunching that effort, that initiative here today. And we have a video that we're going to roll for you, because One DeKalb is an opportunity for you as constituents to engage with DeKalb County on a day-to-day basis, to be empowered with information, to be empowered with knowledge, to help you better your communities, your neighborhoods. And it's meant to be a resource, an all-encompassing resource that you can take advantage of. You know, a lot of times we rely on you getting information from the county through the media. Well, y'all know the reality is, by the time we tell our story, the media takes that story, chops it up, and makes it whatever they want to, and then they communicate it to you. The message has changed dynamically. Can y'all understand that? Many of y'all agree with me on that? We know that. So what we have said is not what you heard, because what has been communicated through the media is not what we said at the very beginning. Well, the Office of Neighborhood Empowerment is intended for us to be able to speak directly to you, to communicate what's going on in DeKalb County, the latest initiatives, the various workshops and seminars that will be available for you to strengthen your work and trying to make your community a better place. It's a way that you can communicate directly with us as well. So we have completely revamped that office, and this video, are we ready? This video is going to give you a little bit more information about that, and at the end of that, then we'll continue with the agenda. So go ahead and roll the video.
Ever wonder who you should contact when you have a question about specific county services? Ever wonder where to turn when looking for community events and meetings which directly impact you? Let's face it, sometimes navigating through government processes can be a bit challenging, but not anymore in DeKalb County, thanks to the new and improved DeKalb Office of Neighborhood Empowerment, or One DeKalb.
We're broadening the scope of One DeKalb, and what we're doing is making more of a concerted effort to educate, engage, and involve our constituency in all aspects of DeKalb County and government.
From where to pay your water bill to your sanitation collection schedule, One DeKalb offers you access to the people, events, and services in DeKalb County.
One DeKalb is there to kind of get through the layers of government and helping you get your issue resolved. And we also want you to know that we're here to provide you information in a timely manner.
With weekly newsletters offering information and a schedule of community events, One DeKalb aims to empower the residents of DeKalb, including the expansion of the county's 311 platform.
311 is an additional tool for citizen engagement. Ultimately, we would like to afford constituents an opportunity to be able to get answers whenever, wherever, and we feel like this would be a great tool to do that.
One DeKalb provides insight and greater transparency of county government with such offerings as the annual Neighborhood Summit, a series of informational meetings on such topics as SPLOST, and a formed partnership with the county's planning department to develop the DeKalb County 2035 Comprehensive Plan. It's that ability to bring government closer to the people it serves which makes One DeKalb Director Malika Hakeem committed to the growth of this office created to empower neighborhoods throughout DeKalb County.
I'm very passionate about it because I feel like that everyone should have an opportunity to at least, number one, be informed and educated. I personally take responsibility for making sure that we take an inclusive approach to letting our constituents know what's going on in the county.
All offerings aptly cloaked under the empowering office of One.
But this represents us coming together collectively to resolve the issues once and for all that are facing our county. If we come together as communities, working together, we can resolve anything that is going on in DeKalb County.
In most cases, people typically look to ambassadors when they visit new places. Here in DeKalb, the Office of Neighborhood Empowerment serves as ambassadors to life in DeKalb for all who live, work, and play in this great county.
And so you all, many of you all who have been engaged with One DeKalb, remember Betty Davis. Is Betty Davis here? I don't know if she's here or not. She's in the back. Betty, come up here, Betty. Come up here, Betty. Come up here, Betty. Betty Davis is really, she's like the founding mother of One DeKalb. And Betty did an awesome job in really advancing, One DeKalb and moving forward. And I wanted her to come up here intentionally. She has a shirt that says LWSC because Betty has a new responsibility now. She runs the Lou Walker Senior Center, and she is having a blast, you all, and I hope the people there are as well. But I wanted you all to see Betty, and I wanted to thank Betty publicly for the wonderful work you have done for DeKalb County. She's a county resident for years, decades now, and she's done an awesome job in getting One DeKalb up and moving forward. There was a need at Lou Walker Senior Center. It was a great fit for all of us, for her and for the county as well, but that left a void at One DeKalb. So I just want to thank Betty so much for that. And what you're seeing here in terms of the relaunch is building on the foundation that she has brought forward. And a lot of times when you look at doing stuff new, people want to just throw out all the old stuff. That's not what this has done. This is building on the foundation and advancing on the wonderful work that Betty has done. So I just want to thank you publicly, Betty. So I also want to introduce to you all Malika Hakeem, who is the new director of One DeKalb, and I'm excited about her leadership. You saw in the video, and she's going to really be taking the new launch, the relaunching of this, and taking it to the next level. So she's going to talk to you for a few moments.
I want to say thank you, and I'm really excited about the opportunity of working with you guys, the constituency here in DeKalb County. We've been doing a lot of work. It's been a lot of hard work getting to this point, and we certainly appreciate all the efforts that Betty Davis put into setting the foundation for this movement, if you will. When I took this role, and Interim CEO Lee May and I were talking about the need for capacity building and information sharing in DeKalb County, he expressed, and I found that we had in common, an extreme passion for educating everyone. And his thing was from the cradle to the grave, and my thing was 1 to 100 and above. And so what we want to do is take an opportunity to share information with you in a timely, transparent, informative manner in a way that you can understand. We're partnering with a lot of county departments and agencies to create consistency in how we deliver information to you. One of the things that we want to do is create consistency in how we do our outreach. And that's just not about talking and bring you in to engage in conversations about different initiatives that we have going on here in the county. It's about letting you know when we're working in your area, in your community. A lot of times, particularly in today's climate, You know, we send contractors and DeKalb County employees in your areas to work. We want to make you aware that they're there. We want to give you advance notice. We definitely want to engage you in initiatives on the front end instead of giving you information on the back end. And we also want to tell our story. One of the things I'm always saying is that, you know, if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. And so we want to get ahead of that in telling our story. I thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to serving you again. And if I can get Ms. Betty Davis to come back up here. The interim CEO kind of got ahead of himself a little bit. But this year, what we want to do as a part of the Neighborhood Summit is implement our One Vision honorees. And One DeKalb, the project team, identified 3 people that we wanted to honor this year. Next year, we want to make this a community initiative where the community tells us who you feel like has done a great job of serving the county and providing great customer service and as it relates to community engagement and constituent involvement. And so, Betty, I just want to take some time to say thank you, number one, for setting the foundation in One DeKalb, for your time and your service, for personally being there for me and mentoring me. My mom always said, you never know who's watching you from afar. And I have admired this lady, her grace, her elegance in the way that she's handled things. And I just want to say we appreciate you, we appreciate your efforts, and thank you for everything you do.
You know, it's all about team. And I tell you, you know, CEO May, you know, and you've given me a lot of thank you for the One DeKalb. But One DeKalb is about the people of DeKalb County. And we made One DeKalb what it is today. And I am just so thankful and so appreciative to be here and to be able to work at the Lou Walker table and to see the Neighborhood Summit continue. It is something that is all about the people of DeKalb County, and that's what One DeKalb is all about. And I am so happy about the leadership and that what you're going to bring to this and take it to the next level. So we're just excited about it, and thank you again for this. Oh, I just love this. Thank you.
There's another individual that we want to take some time to honor this morning, and as indicated in the video, we're going to be folding 311 under the leadership or the guise of One DeKalb. In 311, we hope to have as a more efficient tool for you to get answers to questions, for you to submit service requests. If you have an issue or problem, we can track those things without you having to go to several different places and escalate it up to the CEO's office. We'll be responsible for providing oversight and monitoring to ensure that your answers and your issues are addressed in a timely manner. But there's also another young lady who did a tremendous job of coming in some years ago and setting the foundation for 311. What she created was a premier program. It was a program that we had people come in from all over the country to look at, and she really set a standard and a model that's going to be hard to follow. She's retiring at the end of the month, but we also wanted to say thank you, to take the time to say we honor you and we're really pleased with your time of service here at One DeKalb and for helping me at One DeKalb. So if I can bring Claudette Leak up. Claudette has also been a tremendous help in my transition. She's helping me learn things as it relates to 311 and operators. I thought I would never understand. She's always been a great resource in information sharing. And I just really wanted to take the time to say thank you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, the interim CEO, and the county for your time and service.
After DeKalb County's 311, many of you may not know, but DeKalb has always been innovative, creative, and ahead of the curve. We were the first county in the metro area to have a 311, and we were proud of the support that we were able to get from all the administrations over the years. And I'm very proud of it because we did set a standard nationally where people from all over the country called because we took such a different approach to standing up that system. I'm very appreciative for the 10 years that I've had at DeKalb County. I frequently say, you know, this was my 5th career, and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But I want to thank CEO May, and Malika is going to do a fantastic job. The cohesiveness of the communication message to each of you is what it needs to be, and I wish you the best.
And we have, okay. All right, we've been directed to do it at the end, so I think we want to do a raffle. Okay, all right, we're going to move on with the program, and we'll come back later.
All right, thank you, Malika. And you all have heard a couple of programs that we are talking about, making sure these are good programs. One DeKalb and relaunching that. And Malika also talked about 311 that will be rolled in to One DeKalb and the full communication apparatus for the county. These are not new programs. These are not new ideas. And these are things that Lee May didn't come up with, or this administration. Both of these programs are things that were rolled out in previous administrations. They're solid programs that would allow you to be better connected with DeKalb County. And so what we're looking to do is build on the foundations that Betty and that Claudette helped to put together in previous administrations, and strengthen them and grow them and make sure that they're really doing what we had called for them to do from the very beginning. So we're excited. Again, Betty and Claudette, thank you so much for the work that you've done and for what you have meant to me personally and to DeKalb County as a whole. Yo, we are trying to catch up on our program, so I've just made some adjustments on the fly to get us there. We have a panel discussion that really is going to help us fold into our workshops that we have here today. And we have 3 dynamic panelists to be on at this particular program, part of the program. And I'm just going to bring them up. Many of y'all know them in different areas and different roles. But before I bring them up, I want to bring 2 quick individuals up. John Eves, the chairman of Fulton County, he just wanted to come and bring some remarks to you. And then we're going to bring up Commissioner Nancy Juster. So,
good morning, DeKalb. It certainly is my honor and pleasure to be here, and I want to just say, wow. When I came in the auditorium or the vestibule, many people asked me, why am I here? Well, I'm here for 2 reasons. To steal ideas and to recruit some employees. You all are doing a great job here in DeKalb County. And first of all, I want to thank my friend, Interim CEO Lee May, who has not only provided great leadership in DeKalb, but he has also been a regional leader. He and I have worked closely together in the Atlanta Regional Commission. I'm going to miss you, Lee. You've provided great leadership. So let's give him a round of applause for his leadership. You have a wonderful concept here in terms of this neighborhood summit. And on a serious note, I want to take it back to Fulton County. Fulton and DeKalb County work together to support Grady. If it weren't for us, there would not be a Grady. If it weren't for us, there would not be any Marta. But my friends, I think that there's another opportunity for Fulton and DeKalb County to work together. Lee May pointed out about the climate that's occurring in the country right now. I believe that Fulton and DeKalb can be a leader in terms of making what we do here a model for the nation. Martin Luther King once said, the richer we have become materially, the poorer we have become spiritually and morally. We have learned to fly the skies like birds. We have learned to swim the seas like fish, yet we have not learned to live with our brothers and sisters in peace and in harmony. We have the demographics, we have the legacy, and I think Fulton and DeKalb counties can work together. We have a wonderful resource in Dr. Cedric Alexander, and I think we can push towards across the board community policing in our counties and in our cities. We can't have a strong DeKalb and a weak Fulton. We can't have a strong Fulton and a weak DeKalb. My friends, we have to work together. So I want you to know that communities and neighborhoods are part of this equation. I want to thank you. I want to commend the leadership. I want to thank the staff. But more importantly, let us brothers and sisters work together to make Fulton and DeKalb the beloved community. Have a great summer.
Wow, thank you. I really just want to echo, Chairman, your comments about being a strong Fulton and a strong DeKalb together. You are so right about that. We are joined. We do many great things together. It's been my pleasure and honor to work with you on issues with Grady and the community as a whole. And we are going to miss CEO Lee May in his regional approach and what he's done for DeKalb. And one of the things I think he's done best is create a great environment for the staff, and he has a great staff. You're not stealing them. You are not stealing any of them. And so I want to thank staff right now. I see Chief Fulham here. I see our Chief Information Officer here. See lots of folks. I want to give all of the staff, and I see our first responders in the back. I want to give everyone a round of applause, particularly our first responders. DeKalb has a terrific police, fire, and first response EMTs. We are blessed with your presence here, and I know it's been a very emotional time for our country, but I think the remarks that the CEO has made and the chairman have made really talk about what a special place we have here in Fulton and DeKalb. We have the best police and fire and first responders, and we have the best neighborhoods right here, and we have the best Office of Neighborhood Empowerment. And so I hope you do learn a few things from us here and take them back. You are welcome to steal ideas, but not people, Chairman. We are blessed. And thank you, CEO May, for giving me the opportunity to bring greetings from the Board of Commissioners. I look forward to the program today, and I look forward to making sure one DeKalb is strong from top to bottom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman Eves and Commissioner Jester. Let's jump right into the panel discussion. We have three dynamic individuals coming up. If they would, go ahead and make their way up to the podium, to the table. We have Dr. Cedric Alexander, our DeKalb County Deputy COO for Public Safety. You see him on CNN all the time, and I just tell him, make sure you just say DeKalb when you're on there. Just make sure every time, DeKalb, DeKalb, DeKalb. Then we have our fire chief, Darnell Fulham. Excited about his leadership. He's been doing a dynamic job with us. I think he's been with us for going on 2 years now, right? Yep. Time has flown by, I'm telling you. And he's doing a great job leading one of the best fire departments in the country. As well as we have Marcus Kellum, our beautification director. Marcus is leading up our new beautification unit. He has given leadership in code enforcement for us for years now. He's done such a dynamic job in that area that we gave him a little promotion and just a little bit more money. Not enough, he would say, but but these three individuals are helping us keep with the theme of working together for a cleaner and a safer DeKalb. So we're going to jump right in with our panel discussion and just some questions. And these questions and the interaction is really going to lead us into our workshops that I think you're going to really get a lot more meat and issues and a lot more interaction with. So we're going to start with code enforcement. Marcus, many residents are concerned about blight caused by burned and abandoned houses around the county. What is being done to address these eyesores throughout the county?
Well, thank you, sir. And good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. So blight and these abandoned
properties. Pull the
properties.
mic up to your mouth just a little bit more. There you go.
Can everyone hear me?
There we go.
Good. So, not only are these properties blighted properties, and eyesores, but they're also community service and public safety issues. And the gentleman sitting at the table with me also have to deal with these issues, because when we go into these properties for the purposes of code enforcement, we see all types of transient activities. We see drug paraphernalia. We see evidence that people are in these properties also, which is a huge problem. So what have we done? Well, we've taken a look at this, and we've put together and streamlined programs that will allow us to work better. We've looked at how we can address these issues and take care of these properties by ensuring that property rights are in place. We need to make sure that we're not doing anything that we're not supposed to do. But we also need to address the issue. So we have abandoned properties, half-burnt structures in your communities that you're living with next door to you. So we've done several things. We've put together a streamlined process to start to demolish these properties. And I'm very happy to say that in the last year, we've demolished more properties than we have in the last 10 years. So in terms of a way to come together and a way to approach this, I think we're taking the steps in the right direction to work on a program and streamline the process and get it through the court system so we as a county can come together and abate those issues.
So real quick, Marcus, how can someone notify us of a need of a burned structure to be dealt with?
Absolutely. There are a variety of ways. We're now located on Candler Road, 1807 Candler Road, so the Code Enforcement Division is there. Come on down and talk to us. You can notify us via the web, via telephone, via fax, and we still have a fax machine. Yes, we do. So come on in and talk to us, but we're willing to take that information. We also have a table here, so if you know of a particular property in your community, please visit with the code enforcement table, give them the information, and they'll be able to tell you exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Chief Fulham, talk about what are some of the leading causes of residential fires in DeKalb County from what you've seen. What are some of the leading causes?
Well, good morning to everybody once again. The leading cause in DeKalb County is the same as what you're going to find across the nation, and that's kitchen fires. And it really has to deal with unattended cooking. So that's where when you started the food, you go off into the living room, you're watching the ball game, you're doing other things, you say, I'm going to catch a quick nap while the grease heats up. That's our leading cause of fire. And so it's very important that you have a reminder or you stay in the kitchen. Believe it or not, Thanksgiving Day, when you would think the house is full of family members, friends, though that is the day that we have the most fires, because often people will leave the kitchen, they will leave the turkey cooking, they'll leave whatever's cooking in the kitchen, and that's the leading cause of fire. I'll say right now, the number one safeguard for you is that smoke detector. That smoke detector that's located in your kitchen, please, please, please do not take out the battery. When it goes off, it's for a reason. We want to make sure that you have a smoke alarm in your house, on every floor, in every room, so that when the fire does occur, you will be alerted, and if necessary, we can respond.
Thank you, Chief. We also have here Dr. Alexander, Deputy CO for Public Safety. Our Chief of Police is here, Chief James Conroy. Stand up, Chief, if you would. A 20-plus veteran of the police department. He is doing a phenomenal job, you all, in leading up this organization, and he really has a love for the county and for this department as well. So I just want to say publicly, thank you, Chief Conroy, for your leadership. Dr. Alexander, we have seen news reports of these shootings in Minnesota and Louisiana. We've seen the deadly attacks on the police officers in my wife's hometown, Dallas. Can something like this happen in DeKalb County?
Well, first of all, let me say good morning, and thank you, CEO Lee, for having the opportunity to do this summit this morning. And for anybody and everybody who can hear my voice, I'm going to ask that you try to really listen very, very closely to what I'm saying, even those who are out in the atrium. We're
just a second. If we could just pipe down the conversation just a little bit. around the perimeter. If we could just keep the conversations down to a whisper. Burke, help us around. Just kind of help us around that. Go ahead, sir.
So we're at a very critical time in policing in this country. And most people, and much of what you see every day in the media, and what we are hearing and the events that are occurring, we're right in the midst of it. And the unfortunate incident that we saw occur the other night right in front of us live in Dallas, Texas, is probably one of the most horrific pieces of footage we have seen in modern time since 9/11. But let me say something here to everyone, and particularly the DeKalb County residents that are here and our friends and neighbors that may be here. The men and women that do this job every day, not just police officers, but fire personnel and other sworn personnel who have the unique training and opportunity and chance to provide a service that's really like no other profession. And these men and women are coming up under some of the most deliberate scrutiny that we have ever witnessed before in the history of this country. But I think I have to add a little historical backdrop to that statement to maybe help remind us how we got to where we are. And part of that really has a lot to do with the fact that historically over the years, many communities, particularly communities of color, have not had the most wholesome relationship with this public safety. But if we look back over those years, from slavery through Jim Crow, through civil rights, and even the challenges that we see today between police and community in many communities across this country, if we compare ourselves to a lot of the events that are going on, this county, this public safety, this police department, this leadership in your government is providing you with something that a lot of communities and a lot of agencies across this country wish that they had. And that is people who really have a true and genuine concern about public safety and providing the very best public safety to the citizens in which they serve. Dallas is a great community. Baton Rouge is a great community, and I'm quite sure that small community there in Minnesota is a great community. But this, to the CEO's question, could this happen here? And if we think about it, those events have happened here. We have had issues and questionable shootings that have left this community, many parts of this community, wondering what happened. But here's what we did very different than many other agencies and communities across this country, is that we were fully engaged with you the whole time of each and every one of those shootings and those events. And as emotional as it may have been to a lot of people, the fact of the matter is that we were open, we were transparent, we involved outside agencies to come in and do the investigation for us. You heard from me. You heard from Chief Conroy. And as these cases progress right through the criminal justice system to this very day, each and every citizen in this county was kept attuned to what was going on. One of the biggest issues I saw most recently, and I stated this both privately and publicly, when we saw that very vivid video of that passenger in that vehicle who had been shot 4 times for merely reaching for his license in Minnesota. That department is still yet to this day to give an adequate press conference and tell people in that community, here's what we know. That doesn't happen in this county. It has never happened in this county, and it never will. But there are agencies and there are other communities out there that doesn't even come close to much of the many things that we do to make sure that residents in this county are kept informed in terms of unfortunate incidents that can happen anywhere at any time. It's the nature of policing. We have bad guys who do bad things, and sometimes the interactions with them may not turn out the way we would like for them to. They may create some issues. They may create some perceptions that may or may not be true. But one thing the residents, and I have to give DeKalb County residents here a great deal of credit for, is that I've noticed that when you are informed, you all have stood with us, you have bared the brunt of that responsibility with us, but you've always allowed the process to do what the process does. And quite frankly, when we have came under scrutiny, it really has not been from DeKalb County residents. It was really from those who was outside of this community, which you spoke out against. So you have a great public safety department. Those events can occur anytime, even in this community. But what we have done and demonstrated doing, and it's not something we're going to talk about we're going to do, we do it every time. We keep this community in the loop, we keep this community informed, and we keep this community engaged in terms of the things that we do to enhance and elevate public safety in the 21st century. And that is so important to us. And in saying that, I want to ask, you see all the men and women that are here today in uniform, police and fire and animal services, give them a round of applause for this very difficult time that they're experiencing in the law enforcement community across this country. They deserve a standing round of applause.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And you all, you see a number of uniforms back there. You know, we have not only the police department, a lot of times those are the most front-facing that people know. But you have the sheriff's office that they're here represented as well. You have the marshal's office that are here. So we have all these different law enforcement agencies, and you all do a phenomenal job. Y'all, I will tell you this, we have the best public safety apparatus, I believe, in the nation. And I travel the country, you all. And will we have incidences? Yes. And I just want to kind of expound a little bit on what Cedric said, because he alluded to some things, but how you respond to things are critical. And we were one of the first agencies to say that if any police-involved shooting, we will send it directly to the state, to the GBI, for them to do a separate investigation. And we did that before it became commonplace around, and to handle that. The Board of Commissioners just approved for the purchase of police body cameras for all of our officers on the street. Okay, that's a major investment, you all, because we don't want to have to rely on grainy cell phone footage or, you know, and things that come in and out. We need to see what has happened throughout the entirety of those incidents as well. And you all, it's not just happenstance that Cedric is on TV all the time. I want him to be on there. I tell him I need you to be on there, because what does it do for us here locally? It makes sure that we are telling the story of what has happened from the best of our knowledge. And that includes when we mess up. Because in order for people to build trust between, you know, the community and the police, they got to trust what you say, which means you got to be honest. If you messed up, we need to say we messed up. And we've done that. Cedric has done that. Conroy has done that. And that's what we have to continue to go through and make sure that we're communicating to the public. So Cedric, James Conroy, thank you for your leadership in those areas. Real quick on policing again, talk to us about what community policing is, because one of the things that we've seen in those communities that have real big uproars in the wake of many of these shootings is that there seems to be a disconnection between law enforcement and the community itself. Talk to us more about community policing and what we are doing and what we can do better here in DeKalb.
Community policing in its very rare and basic and fundamental form is exactly what it says it is. It's community relations. It's developing a relationship between the community members and public safety, and where you become part of a partnership. Community relations for us, or community policing for us, is not a separate unit that's over here in a building at Burgess. Community policing for us is over 800 men and women who are sworn police officers who provide that service to this community every day. Now, what does that service look like? Community policing is merely this. It is a partnership between the police department and its community members, where we forge together and we become partners. We attend your meetings. We do things in the community that involve your children, and we're going to talk more about that here today. We do a host and a number of things together. We don't do them in isolation in and to ourselves. And I'll give you another good example. Every quarter, every 3 months, your DeKalb Police Department put on a program on Saturdays where you spend the entire day learning about the internal workings of your department. We've done 4 of these so far. We've had business community members come in, local community membership to come in, and we bring in the state attorney's office, we bring in trainers from our academy, because here are the things that people want to know about. What does use of force mean? How do you employ use of force? What about car chases? Why do y'all chase other vehicles? And a host and a variety of, once a police-involved shootings occur, what happens next? We bring in representatives from the DA's office, we bring in our own training people, and we also spend time in one of our other trailers out there at the academy where you actually get to play the role of a police officer yourself. And not just the old traditional, what you see on television, shoot, don't shoot scenarios. But I mean put you in real life types of situations where you get to make that decision within a moment. Because you not only get to hear about it, you get to feel it, you get to see what officers are experiencing, and we get to hear from you if it's something different that we can do better. And that, in each one of these events that we have held, and there are a number of people who are in the audience I see who attended these, they have been worth their weight in gold. Because in community policing, it's not us being closed off doing things that you don't know about. It's about developing policies and developing procedures that you yourself as community members provide some input into. Our entire general orders of how we do business, from wearing hats to police chases to use of force, is going to be put up online so that anybody in this room can go and see what the policy is of this police department at any given time. That is transparency. And transparency is just not a term that we use because we hear it a lot in this environment that we're in today. We were being transparent long before it became popular prior to Michael Brown in Ferguson. We have been transparent since that time. And I know that myself and the CEO, when he arrived, when I moved into this position 3 years ago, we committed that transparency is not going to be a popular term that we were going to use like everyone else. It was going to be a term that we gave real credence to. This police department hides nothing from the citizenry here in DeKalb. Nothing. Because in community policing, we are partners. Partners don't steal from each other. Partners don't lie to each other. Partners do not betray each other. And when the time gets tough, partners join together and provide in that community an opportunity for great public safety. Because with the men and women who are out there at this very moment, who are in this same environment that the rest of the country is, officers being attacked unknowingly, being called to homes and businesses and being ambushed. We've seen it over the last 3 days since the shootings in Dallas. We had 4 of those events that took place across the country. Our officers that are out there taking calls at this very moment had an opportunity on yesterday to meet with Chief Conroy and the entire command staff, who ensured them that whatever you're feeling, whatever anxiety that you're feeling, it is important for them to know. And I would say this to everyone in this community and in this room tonight. When you see your DeKalb police and fire, shake their hand and thank them and tell them that you are their partner in this fight, in this environment that we're in at this very moment in American history.
Yes. Thank you, Cedric. 2 last questions, and then we're going to open up just for a couple of questions, primers for the workshops before. Marcus Kellum, Why new beautification unit? Talk to us about why the need for a new beautification unit in DeKalb.
Absolutely. Beautification. So we're talking public safety and we're talking beautification. What's the correlation? Well, the reality is a clean DeKalb is a safe DeKalb. And this is not a stretch, folks. This is, you know this. The perception of being safe in a community, in an area, has everything to do with how it looks. So beautification is a natural piece of this puzzle. So the beautification division the beautification unit is comprised of the men and women of code enforcement who work every day to ensure that the property owners and the businesses are doing the right thing, are making sure that the exteriors of their properties are in compliance with the rules and the regulations. We've joined together with Keep DeKalb Beautiful, whose mission is to keep DeKalb beautiful, so that's not a stretch, right? We've come also together with the men and women of the Litter Patrol, the Clean Communities crew, the folks who are picking up the trash, not the trash from your house, but the trash in the street, and the men and women who cut the right-of-ways, who cut the grass. So this is a natural progression to bring us together as a unit and work together to create a clean and beautiful community, because again, a clean community is a safe community.
All right. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Fulham, Chief Fulham, what are some additional ways that you can work with the community to really allow them to promote safety in their own communities?
Yes, and that's a great question. We have our folks in the back right now. There's two of them to my right, to your left. Christy and Sharon that are back there. They're part of our public education staff. I think we have probably one of the largest units in the metro area. They're out 5 days a week, some days 6, like today, but they're out every day. And what they do is public education. It's not simply about fires. They teach CPR. They can install car seats, teach you how to install car seats. They're speaking about fall prevention. We know the two critical of our citizens that are going to face situations are our children and our elderly. And in many cases, with our elderly, it's the falls, it's the things that happen inside the home that have nothing to do with fire. We respond to 70% EMS calls. Let me say that again, 70% of the calls we respond to have nothing to do with fire, it'll be EMS. And so we make sure that we're training the citizens on how they can prevent those incidents. 90% of what we respond to is preventable. So if we can prevent it, then we can not have to respond. I often say if the first time you meet one of our folks, one of our firefighters, is when the lights and sirens are on and we come to your house, we've failed, I believe. We've failed in some kind of way. So invite us to your events. Nothing's too small. It doesn't have to be this large. If you have a homeowners association meeting, we want to be there. We want to come, and we have plenty of information that we can provide, plenty of training, and hopefully we will prevent those incidents from happening in the first place.
All right, thank you, Chief Fuller. Thank all three of you all for being here. We're going to take a few questions, and we're going to put them. We're going to take you to this microphone in the middle. A couple of rules: keep it a question, keep it short, so we can ask as many as possible. And if we could just hold down the commentary, because we can utilize that commentary, the interaction for the workshops itself. Remember, these are intros into the individual workshops that we're going to roll right into after this. So if you could line up, and we're going to take 3 to 5 questions. So if you got a question, go ahead and line up now. Mr. Blackman, go ahead.
Code enforcement question.
Yes, sir.
Citations.
Yes, sir.
Why not write citations when you show up on a violation? And number 2 is, why don't you have someone to answer your phone when we call?
Okay. That's the only question that we're going to get multiple questions. All of them going to be one question. Should have said that from the beginning. But go ahead, Marcus.
So citations. So code enforcement officers are sworn officers of the magistrate court. We have the ability to issue citations. But understanding that the way that we change this community is to make people do the right thing. Citation therapy is something that I've created that sometimes you have to motivate people to do certain things. So there is a need for citations at certain times. The officers have the latitude to understand what's going on at time, and we need to allow the property owners to do the right thing. We need to get them to fix it, because if we write a citation and they don't fix it, the situation still stays the same. So we allow the opportunity to comply, and if they fail to comply, then we issue the citations.
And let me add to that, one thing that we are doing is looking at kind of, you know, that same question. Are there certain violations that are in need of an immediate citation versus the initial warning? Because how it works, you all, when the call comes out, we come out and give a warning if there's a violation, give them a period of time to fix it. If they don't fix it within that period of time, then they're cited. Well, some, and I believe personally, there's some that just need to be fined. You need to be cited and fined immediately. But that will be a sea change based upon what we've been doing. Next question. Next question.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm going to try to make this one question for 3 people.
One question, and pick who you want to do it. One person. That's our negotiation. Come on, Jocelyn.
Okay. I'll say fire. In my community, we are ravished with homes with no addresses, which makes it difficult for police and fire. What can you do to help us get these property owners to put addresses on these homes?
So what can we do? I'll say, what can we do, the community? What can we do to ensure that you have your address displayed so that when we respond, whether it's police, fire, the ambulance, they can find your address? So if you're in if you're in a subdivision, you should make that part of your bylaws that you have to have it displayed. You have to have it displayed. We can handle the businesses. Businesses have to have their address displayed. I would ask that you as a homeowner, whether it's your own home or if you're in a subdivision or any type of community, that you speak to your neighbors and say, yes, it's important that when those units are responding, even though we have a 911 system and it's enhanced, sometimes it can be difficult to find that address. You can help us in making sure that we're able to respond in a timely fashion by having that address displayed, whether it's on your mailbox, it's on your home. If it's a business, it's on the business and it's clearly displayed.
And that's not happening. Businesses or homes.
So let Marcus jump in. Before Marcus, you jump in on that. The young lady in the back with the beautiful hair, that's going to be our last question because we want to have a cutoff. We want to make sure she's our last one, just so everyone knows. Marcus, if you would.
And just to foster that relationship, that is actually a code violation as well. So we can partner with, and again, the purpose of what we're doing right now is working together for that safer community. Absolutely, we can partner with the community, we can partner with fire and police to actually make that happen because that is a code violation.
Okay, and
All
we
right,
needed
thank you,
y'all
Justin.
present on this past Thursday too.
Next question.
Good morning, everyone. CEO May, is this the forum to discuss our roads and?
Is this a forum to discuss the roads? And we're going to have a particular workshop that's for dealing with our roads, how it's rating, and potholes and things like that. So there's an individual session following this that will discuss that, as well as there's a SPLOS workshop. Yeah. SPLOS stands for Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, that could provide funding to address the conditions of our roads as well. So you have both of those workshops to address those areas as well, and you can ask your individual questions, okay?
Okay.
And just a note, y'all, we are over 400 miles behind in repaving our roads in DeKalb County.
Yes.
That didn't just happen all of a sudden. Chairman Eves talked about our joint commitments with Fulton County. We pay for MARTA together, Fulton and DeKalb County, a 1% sales tax generates about $100 million. We provide a homestead option sales tax for your property tax relief. So if you're a homesteaded property, what your total tax liability is, you pay roughly half of that. That's another $100 million that is generated through that sales tax. And our commitment to Grady is about between $20 and $25 million a year. That's nearly $250 million a year that we're not able to invest in our infrastructure, in our roads. So if you want to know the conditions, why the conditions of your roads are the way that they are, it's because that's one of the big challenges that we've had. And the traditional funding source that we had has been diminished over the years, primarily because of state action. Not Coach Williams, not because of him, but because of other state actions that have happened in the past, okay? So go to those workshops, okay?
I will.
Okay.
Thank you. And for beautification, for example, out on the Parkway, just right out here on Flash Shoals Parkway, who is responsible for making sure that grass is cut all during the summer and it doesn't grow up as tall as the buildings surrounding it?
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. Thank you. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
one of the things that we're doing is making that transparent. There are state roads, there are county responsible roadways, and we are going to be launching on the website. You can actually put in your roadway and it'll say who the responsible person is. If it's us, it'll also indicate when we're going to do it.
Because a lot of times y'all say, DeKalb County, why aren't you cutting the roads? Why aren't you picking up the trash? And it's not our responsibility. It's the state. And I'll give you a good example. Right off the interstates, the entrances and exits to the interstate, those are state responsibilities. So when they're an eyesore, I know immediately you say DeKalb is not handling this business, but that's not our responsibility. Now, what we've done over the years is try to supplement by doing some work ourselves. You know, sometimes we do it with their permission, sometimes we don't, but it affects all of us nonetheless, okay? So that's gonna be a resource that you can see, as well as to have a phone number of who you can call from the state to address us as well. And that's part of Marcus's new role, to be that connection with the state, to be able to make sure that they're doing their part to keeping our county safe as well. Judge, how are you?
Wonderfully well. Good to be here. Good morning, Dr. Alexander. My name is Barbara Mobley. I'm from the Tony Valley Subdivision and Community Association. Recently, I attended an In the North session at your headquarters, and there was a wonderful workshop on training for active shooters. My question is whether or not any plan is being made to have that same training to come out to our community so more people could be trained on what to do in an active shooter situation.
Yes, ma'am. And yes, ma'am. And you know, here again, that training that you're referring to, we have offered that training in a variety of different locations over the last few months, and primarily some of them have been pretty much in office type facilities, merely because that's generally where these type of active shooter events usually take place. But certainly we would have no problem. I will ask Chief Conroy and any of his staff that you see in here today to just give us your name and number, and we'll make some provisions for one of our trainers. If you can have a group of people in your community to come together, which would be great, because that training they can use in their homes and in their businesses, in the mall, or wherever they may happen to be. We live in a very, very different time now. The threat is very different. And if we listen and look at the number of terrorist events that we have seen occur, not just outside of this country, but in this country, we cannot be so remiss to not think that it can happen anywhere at any time. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in this county. We could be traveling anywhere outside this county, outside this country, and there are some important things that we need to know. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And we'll make sure we get that service delivered to you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Barbara. Last three questions, and panel, if we can kind of keep our responses short as possible, that'd be great.
All right. Good morning, and I wanted to thank you all for your service. I am Danita Townsell. I'm a newly retired school counselor in DeKalb County Schools, and I just wanted to speak with you about the youth. I've spoken with youth over the years, and their attitude has changed towards policing and what they feel that they feel that they're powerless in changing their community. So I want to know, how can we engage our youth with all of the programs that you all provide, maybe like more Youth Explorer programs, having a charter Keep DeKalb Beautiful thing in each school, but the youth are feeling powerless, and I think we can change their attitude. But you know, I'm here to help, and I want to know how I can help you all reach out to our youth because they feel powerless.
So let me respond to that, because that's a question that is so many times often asked as to what program can we provide. I am a strong advocate of programs, and we have a host of programs and things that we do, particularly as it relates to public safety. Even this summer, Chief Conroy and his staff have put together programs where in a number of churches and other areas across DeKalb, we got kids that are coming in for midnight basketball, and a host of other events, and that we are partnered with other churches and other businesses in the community. And Chief Conroy and his staff can tell you more about that. We have a PAL program, the Police Athletic League, on a basis year during the school year and during the summer. There are a number of things in public safety that we do. So a host of programs are available, but here's what's really important. And I think most people in and around in this room will agree. We can have all the programming in the world, but I think one thing we got to step back and do is help the parents of these young people to do their part in this. Because we're not going to program our way out of this. So programs we have to have, but we also have to have community and parental involvement. And look, I get it, I understand it. We have single parents who are trying to raise boys, who are trying to raise young women. They have to work, they have a host of responsibilities, and we want to be there and help and support them. But nowhere is the greater help than in the community in which you live itself. Nothing is greater and more powerful than that. Okay? Thank you very much.
I agree, and we do need to educate the parents. I agree.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yes, and ma'am, also wanted to let you know that the fire department has an Explorer program, outstanding program. Please go to our website. You can get information on how your children can join that program. It's been very successful. I know we have hired at least 5 to 10 individuals out of that program that are now serving on the fire department. We have 2 that are in our process right now.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I have in a political year, I know this may not be appropriate, but I have a question. How do we, as a community, help you address the issue of salary or pay increases for our first responders and our police officers? I know taxes is not a popular thing. I'm one of those individuals who I don't mind you going up on my taxes if it's going to be used appropriately. So how do we as a community help you engage that? So we can do policing, but we can't do it if we don't have the personnel.
So well, let me respond to that, because Cedric really
and that's what I was going to say. I'm going to defer that.
Cedric can't do anything for that. That's over here. With that. And whether it's a political year or not, one of the things we got to make sure is that we're compensating them adequately for what they do. Now, the reality is this. For just about most of the positions, employees that we have for the county, we can never pay them enough. We can never pay our police and fire enough. We can never pay our sanitation workers enough. What we can do is make sure that we're paying them competitively. Right. And that's what we've been seeking to accomplish. We did a pay and class study for all of our employees, but of course it included police and fire and public safety to tell us where we are in relationship to the market, to make sure that they hadn't had any substantive increases prior to the past 3 years in like almost a decade. And so there's a couple of things that what we've done. So, and I'm gonna go back to me being in this position, okay? So in 2013, we gave police and fire sworn officers a 3% bonus that year. They hadn't had any kind of increase. Now that didn't increase their salary, but it gave them some cash in their pocket that year. In 2014, we gave them a 3% raise. Okay, or you may call it a cost of living adjustment, whatever. It's 3% more than what they had before. Right. And then this past year, the Board of Commissioners approved a 4% increase for a certain segment of employees, but police and fire were in that as well. Right. But we've also had to invest in equipment. In police, we initiated the take-home police car program that we rolled out gradually because that's an amenity that we thought was necessary for them. We created also our tuition reimbursement program for our police and fire because in order to sit in these seats right here, you got to have a college degree. Good. And if you came in at 18, you may not have ever, thought that you can accomplish that. And so the tuition reimbursement is intended to help them to assist them in their academic efforts. So we've been doing things. Now the question on the table is it enough? And that's a subjective question. We've been trying, but it's a costly kind of endeavor. We'll be dealing with our mid-year adjusted budget this year. Hopefully there could be some adjustments to assist a little bit more, in public safety. But we've been doing our part to advance their cause, okay?
Can Splosh be a part of that?
No, it can't.
It can't
be used
okay.
for salaries, only for capital and infrastructure. Oh, okay. But here's the thing. By approving SPLOST, that frees up money in other areas. Okay. That can be used for that. So that's my own personal opinion. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I have to say ditto to that because I'm a Mountain Oaks resident, and my question was concerning that we are losing a lot of good experienced policemen especially, and they're with the short tempers and the lack of contentment among them that can cause these incidents on the street because of the lack of experience policemen on the street because they're leaving for other opportunities. So that is a big concern that I have.
And that's a really good concern. And let me also say this, one additional thing that we've done, I think in the past 3 years, we have graduated about 7 or 8 different police academies, 8 police academies. We've graduated about 4 or so fire academies because of that very reality. We've been trying to grow the force, but also be able to respond to the people that are leaving. And that has been a challenge that just frankly, we have not been able to resolve. It's a balancing act. You want to make sure we got enough people on the force, but you want to pay the people that you have on the force to keep them as well. And it's been a challenge.
But what good does it do to continue to bring in new people when you're losing the experienced officers?
Right. That's exactly. Okay. But here's the other challenge that we're having in terms of investment and resources. We're losing a ton of people just out of retirement. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at a lot of our numbers, our attrition, a lot of them are people who are no longer being in policing anymore. Right. And that's a real challenge that we have to do. So we have to hire aggressively. We've been trying to hire just to keep pace with the people that are leaving. So it's not an either or, it's a both and kind of thing.
Well, I'm just, like I said, I'm concerned about those who are coming in, who are not leaving because of retirement. My son was one of those who left because of the lack of, they didn't feel that DeKalb was really that concerned about policemen and about the pay and so forth because they have to support families and live like the rest of us.
Well, and I will say, we're definitely concerned. When the county was pressed to increase their pension costs, we held off on that for some years because we didn't want to, that's additional money out of their pockets. But it's a real challenge. Let me ask you, did your son go into another policing agency?
Yes, he did.
And some for example, we can't keep up with MARTA. MARTA pays their people through the wazoo.
It wasn't MARTA.
But no, I'm just giving examples of what we're losing. And then we're losing people to the private sector as well. And so what we're trying to do is balance being able to do all the other stuff that we got to do, fill potholes, pave roads, keep the community clean, and it's just not an easy endeavor that we're trying to do the best.
Just remember, for public safety, we care about our policemen and our firefighters.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm gonna just say this. So Mr. Blackman up front says raise your taxes to accommodate for that, and he's been a consistent, vocal person on that aspect, and that's something that if that's something that you all are willing to to embrace, because we cut taxes, you know, a couple of years ago because the tax rate has just, frankly, in DeKalb gotten too high, I believe, you know, personally. But I want to make a couple of acknowledgments before we break you all out. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to our panelists. Again, Cedric Alexander, Dr. Cedric, y'all know he's a psychologist. Dr. Cedric Alexander, Marcus Kello, and Chief Darnell Fulham. Thank you all for your leadership. Thank you for your commitment to this county. Thank you for just being present here today as well.